All right, let's start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. All right, welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is pretty much various topics dated February 15, 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and destruction and judgment of Esau and the nations, pretty much. And pretty much, brothers were doing a lesson downstairs. And, I was down there, putting in my 2 cents here and there. Today, I've been pretty much, working with the brother Hanak from the San Francisco camp. It's helping me out with, some situations, stretching and just different things, tinctures and teas and things of that nature. And pretty much that's why I'm, doing this video so late. But, like I said, brothers were downstairs, doing the lesson. And they were touching on Esau. They were touching on this individual that used to have a page by the name of A Call for an Uprising. Now it's we have one that could see or something along those lines. And pretty much, he was going into or trying to break down Revelations, the 6th chapter, in the 1st and 2nd verse, and he totally botched that up. And as Elder Apostle Tar says from time to time, whenever these Christians don't know something prophetic, they just say that's the Antichrist, and that's exactly what he went to. That horse, the white horse that came to conquer and to conquer or something like that. That he said that's dealing with the Antichrist. Nevertheless, the brothers went into it and broke it down. That was dealing with Yahushai, and they also went into Revelation 6 and 3 to 4, dealing with the red horse and the great sword. And we spoke about how, that in the book of Obadiah, the Spirit jumped on me and I said, the book of Obadiah is key to understanding the prophecy of Esau, one of the main keys, because it pretty much goes into, it identifies who Esau is today and what he would be doing in the last times. And we kind of touched on that, and brothers hit, some other precepts, building off of, Esau, pretty much ruling in these times. And no matter what you say, you could go to any word, you can go to Hebrew words, you can go to Greek words, you can try to spin it and say that Esau is not Edom, or some Salaki, that the Edomites or Esau or the Edomites are not the so-called white man. Trying to go through technicalities of different words and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you cannot deny that when the Lord comes back, a person that will be in power in these times would be Esau, and they would be the ones that would be taken down from rulership in these times when Yahushua comes back. Isaiah 63 goes into that real heavy, which the brothers touched on a few verses on that, or in that chapter. And pretty much even David Guzik, which is a scholar, they asked him about Isaiah 63. It is Isaiah 63 speaking about the Messiah. And he agreed that it's speaking about the Messiah because it says, mighty to save. So that means that if he understands that that's dealing with, it's a future prophecy dealing with the Messiah, then that would mean that the Edomites would have to be here on the planet today to receive that judgment when Yahushua comes back. But he mentioned something, because I only saw it once. He mentioned something along the lines that he doesn't subscribe to that or something along those lines. And it doesn't matter if you subscribe to it or not. The scriptures say, matter of fact, let's start off with this real quick. Let's go to Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. Right? And Romans chapter 3, verse 3 says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?" So it doesn't matter if you believe that Esau's here or not. Doesn't matter if you believe that the so-called white people today, the ones that whose line goes back to Esau are the Edomites. It doesn't matter if you believe that or not. It's still going to come to pass. It's still going to come be of total effect. Let's go real quick and we'll come back to that. Isaiah chapter 55. Because one thing you can't get around prophecy. And that's the bottom line. You cannot get around prophecy. Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. Because Yahweh Bashem El Shai gave the word, right? Great was the company of them that wrote it down in so many words. And now we're at the point where the prophecies are starting to speak loud and clear on the planet of the things that were written thousands of years ago, and they're speaking loud and clear. So the Lord gave prophecies. A lot of them have already been fulfilled, and some of them are being fulfilled even as we speak now. Like the MOTB being the micro C hip, that's being fulfilled as we speak, because the world has set up an infrastructure to where the MOTB is going to be everywhere. And I did a lesson yesterday with the brother Yazarayala from here in Dallas, and pretty much, so a brother has sent me this Instagram post or IG post, and pretty much it was a video, and the video was this woman that was speaking about these secret papers of Woodrow Wilson and Colonel Edward Mandell House, which Colonel Edward Mandell House is the advisor to Woodrow Wilson back in the early 1900s. And pretty much Edward Mandell House, which was the advisor, he was really the one running things. Just like, because he pretty much was the one running things behind the scenes. Like back in the days, I forgot who that was, but it was Reagan that was speaking. He was a president at the time, and there was this one individual behind him that stepped up to him and said, "Look, speed it up." Which shows you that these presidents are not in charge of what's going on. They're not in charge of anything. They're just running their mouth. So in that particular video that posted on IG, pretty much said that the house said that their purpose was to make everything pretty much to get everybody on a database, create debt slaves. In so many words, you could go back and watch the video we did yesterday, and you could hear I played the video about 3 times, once at the beginning, I think once in the middle, and once towards the end. So if you want to get edified on that, if you want to see that and all the particulars, go back to that. So the bottom line is that all of the prophecies that the Most High spoke about are going to be fulfilled, and they are being fulfilled, including the Edomites being the last rulers on the planet Earth. It says, I'll read this again. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Why? Because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. So if you have individuals out there, whether they call themselves scholars, Bible teachers, whatever they call themselves, and they don't believe the writings of the Lord, that's of none effect to the Lord. Because it says here in Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? You're not going to stop this program. You're not going to stop this train. The train already left the station. You're not going to stop it. It said the Most High forbid, yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. So the Heavenly Father is to be true, and every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So now when they asked this guy, David Guzik, about Isaiah 63, is that speaking about the Messiah coming back? And he said, yes. But then he said he didn't subscribe to it because it speaks about Edom. And these wacky-tacky Christians, have this claim without any proof that the Edomites were already done away with. But according to Bible prophecy, according to the words of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, Esau would be in power in these times when Yahweh Shai comes back. So you're not going to be able to stop it because you don't believe it. You know, that never stopped the Most High before because you don't believe it. So what? This is the Lord's word. This is the Lord's program. This is the Lord's work. It's going to go down. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. As it says in Job, whether you choose or whether you refuse. It says the Most High forbid, yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Why? Because you're standing upon the principles of the scriptures. All right. So now let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Which reminds me of what the apostles, which were disciples at the time, asked Yahweh Shai, about the end of the world. Matthew 24 and 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And part of the signs of the Lord's coming and the end of the world, he ran it down. There'll be famines, there'll be uproars of the people. You have false messiahs, raising up. You'll have those that are pretty much say that they're divinely inspired by the Most High when they're not, and this is why the Apostle John said that, when you're dealing with somebody, you try the spirit, whether they are of the Most High or not. And if it doesn't add up to what the Lord said, then it's garbage. You could discard it, you could cast it out. Like you have these individuals that will go to scriptures in the New Testament and bring out, scriptures on the Gentiles being saved and this, that, and the other, and not just the Israelites, and it's not by genealogy and this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, it is about the people of the Most High, the Israelites. Now, as far as genealogies go, we can't trace our line back to Israel all the way back to the patriarchs. Nobody can. But the scriptures say that, that our spirit beareth witness with the Lord's spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So the things that we do, the actions that we take and the things that we do in the world and in our daily life proves that we are the people of the Most High. So they asked him, what shall be the sign of thy coming and in the end of the world? And when you look up this word world, for those of you that may not know, you have several words for the word world. You have 3 for the word world and 1 for the word earth. And this one for the word world is the word eon. All right. And the word eon is forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the world's universe. It goes on a period of time. This is what it is, a period of time or an age. All right. And the age of empires is what, 250 years. So next year, America's, age would be up. And it makes sense because we're at a pivotal stage of America heading down on a downward spiral. But they're still economically strong, even though the economy is fucked up. They're still militarily strong. They still, you still have many nations that sell their wares here in America, and they're getting paid and getting rich off of the substance or off of selling their wares or their goods here in America. And the scriptures tell us that when Babylon the Great falls and is destroyed, the nations are going to mourn because they can't sell their goods anymore. The nations are not selling their goods to the Vatican City, because some people say that the Vatican City is Babylon the Great. No. You have people that trade with China, but the main trading post through ships is here in America. This is where all nations of the planet Earth sell their wares. When you go to these different stores, whether you go to the dollar store, whether you go to these higher end stores, and you look at the different tags in the clothing, it'll say made in Bangladesh, made in Taiwan, made in China, made in Mexico, made in Peru, made in Ecuador, because all nations on the planet are getting paid off of the consumer that consumer um, the I'm trying to word it the best way I can. The people in America that consume their goods, and they're getting paid off of that. All right. So the end of the age or eon is a period of time, and this nation was given a certain period of time to rule, and now their period of time to rule is up. So let's go from there to there was a precept that just came to mind. Yes, Barak Deo Bashim Al Shai. Psalms 75 and verse 5. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So the Lord, Yahweh Bashim El Shai, is the judge. They put one down, they set another one up. All right? There are no O's, E's, O. Nope. Name is Yahweh Bashim El Shai. There is no U's or E's in the Hebrew. So, and how did you get Bahashem? Bahashem is a Paleo Hebrew. It's not Yahuwah and Yeshua or Yahusha. It's Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. You need to study more. You don't know what you're talking about. It says, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. All right. So now let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7. Right. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? Hey, shalom, bro. Okay, don't worry about it. Then the veggies will do. I don't know because I don't know if how that's gonna. You know what? You got Canucks number, right? Can you hit him up? Yeah, find out from him. All right, shalom. All right, Salaki for that. It says, and then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first? So what's the end of the first? The end of this age. That the disciples, before they became apostles, asked Yahweh Shai, when shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? It's the same word there, age. So when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Why? Because Jacob will eventually pull Esau down. For Esau is the end of the world, or the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, you're going to have the Edomites or Esau that are going to be in power when Yahweh Shai comes back to take them down. All right? So let's go to Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart, and this is dealing with Edom. Okay, just want to read the first verse. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. So I just want to get to that just to let you know that this whole chapter in Obadiah, which is 21 verses long, is dedicated to the Edomites. And this is a very heavy and important prophetic book, to know, because this gives you a description of who the Edomites are and what they would be doing in this time, All right, so let's go back. So we're going to jump down to the third verse. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Now, the pride of these devils is through the roof. And you can see, the pride of Esau is personified in this devil Trump. He said, we're going to go take Greenland. We're going to, rename the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to rename it the Gulf of America. And they're just doing whatever the hell they want to do. And that's that extreme pride. And they never feel or never think that they're going to go down or be taken out of that position. Because the Lord gassed them up so much through the technology and through the weaponry and military that he gave them, that they really believe that they put themselves in that position. They don't know that the Most High put them in that position. They don't acknowledge that the Lord put them in that position. It says, "Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock." This is another. That's clue number one, the extreme pride. Clue number two, that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. What are the clefts of the rock? The clefts of the rock are the mountains, and they lived in the mountainous ranges of Mount Seir. But then, during the time of the Khazar Empire, which lived, in the Caucasus Mountain of Georgia, Russia. I believe that's between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea, right? They were living. This is going back to the 600, 500, 600, 700 AD era. And they were living up in those caves. And when the Arab historians used to go and speak to the Kagan, right, which was the king of those Khazars at the time, they would actually see them sitting there with their drawers, wore their drawers till they would disintegrate. They actually saw their women sitting there picking the lice out of their private areas. You see all kind of, this is the low state that these devils were brought into. In the book of Obadiah, the 30th chapter, it also gives you a description of Esau being in the caves, of them being in a low state, of them actually braying, like pretty much grunting like animals. No other nation on the planet has that history, that shameful history, like the so-called white man, who are the Edomites. It says whose habitation is high. That's clue number 3. Whose habitation is high. What's that? Look at their buildings. Well, you say, well, China got skyscrapers. Singapore got skyscrapers. You got skyscrapers all over the world. Yeah, but where did the skyscraper idea or first skyscraper start? It started here in America. It started in Chicago. It was a 10-story insurance company that towered over all the houses that were there. And from that point on, then they started building more tall buildings, what they call skyscrapers. All right. So that's their habitation being high. Because that they remind them of being up in those elevated states in the Caucasus Mountains. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that pride of his saying, who shall bring me down to the ground? Why? Because there's no other nation that can rival the military of Esau and their allies, which is known as the Beast, which is NATO and the EU. Nobody can rival that. This is why Russia, China, and other nations are coming together to pool their militaries together to be able to fight against this place. Because the scriptures say that who can make war with the beast? No one was able to make war with the beast, with this place. And especially during the time of World War II, when they dropped those two atomic and the I forgot what the other one was. Those 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Once that happened and Russia got wind of that, Russia stopped the presses and they went directly into beast mode to build nuclear missiles, nuclear technology, because they had certain of those same German scientists that were brought to Russia, that were brought to America, and they've been building and been, while America had their arsenal, right, of nuclear missiles, Russia had their arsenals, but they kept perfecting and making that technology even better and better. So to the point now where they have hypersonic missiles, you see, which have nuclear warheads on it. You see? So this is why they have to come together as these different nations to fight against America and their allies. But the thing about it, at the very end, even the allies of America are going to turn against it because it's prophesied. So you can't get around prophecy. Doesn't matter if you don't believe it or not. It's still going to come to pass regardless. All right. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. This is another. This is what, clue number 5. What is the symbol of America? The bald eagle. It was a symbol of Rome. It was a symbol of Spain. It was a symbol of France. It was a symbol, of Germany. It was a symbol of England. It's a symbol of Esau and these different nations. Today in America, you have the bald eagle. And to show you that it was all spiritual, when Benjamin Franklin, when they were sitting down debating on what the national bird of America should be, he wanted the turkey to represent America because the turkeys are indigenous to America. All right. And this is the place where King Solomon sent, those Sidonians to get exotic animals from. So he wanted the turkey to be the bird of America, to represent America. But they was like, nope, they decided on the eagle. Why? Because it was prophecy or prophesied. When you go to their post office, their symbol is the eagle. When you look on the back of a quarter, you have the eagle there. When you look on the back of a dollar bill, you have the eagle there. So in every way, shape, or fashion, the eagle is a representation of Esau. The Romans carried it, and all the rest of those, the Greeks carried it. So this is clue number 5. It says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. This is clue number 6. How did they set their nest among the stars? When they brought up those different space stations and satellites that they have in orbit right now. That is what they use for the technology to broadcast back and forth, back down to the earth, and be able to put all these signals all around the world. You just had something where they had an interview with these astronauts. One of them was a woman. They're out in space. They were stuck out there for longer than they wanted to, and they're up there in the space station, So these devils, that's another clue that this is dealing with the so-called white man today. It says, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right, because that is going to be your ultimate goal. That would be your ultimate goal. Let's go to Job, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the bounds is a representation of how far you can go. Your time, as far as the time that the Lord's going to cut you off, and also your boundaries. Because if you were able to, you would go to the bottom of the sea, but you can't. You want to go to the bottom of the sea. You want to search out space. You want to go inhabit space so you can destroy space like you destroyed the fucking earth. You want to go and destroy everything, but you can't. There's things on the earth where you can trek and walk, and you've been all over the earth, and you still haven't figured out all the species of animals and all the species of birds and all the species of herbs and all the species of flower and all the species. And then you want to go to the bottom of the sea, which you can't. And there's still species of different aquatic life that you haven't even discovered yet. And you want to go out to space when you haven't even conquered the earth. Now, the reason why you want to do these things and search all these things out, because the Lord said, if you can't do that, then will the nation of Israel be no more. The Lord will do away with us. But you're not going to be able to do that. Because at the end of the day, the Lord is not going to do away with Israel, because the sun, the moon, and the stars, which were set up there forever, are always going to be up there, because they were set up there for perpetual, to be up there perpetually. All right. So going back to Obadiah, so that's when the Lord's going to bring you down. All right. So now let's go from there, to the book of Isaiah 63, and we could close it out on this one. And Isaiah 63 and also Isaiah 34 are two of the main. Besides Obadiah, those are two of the main scriptures to let us know that when Yahushua comes back, Esau is going to be ruling. So how in the hell can you say that the Edomites are done away with when the Edomites will be in power when the Lord comes back? And to show you how much of a demon these devils really are, when you go to the name Esau, right? Let's go to Genesis 25 real quick. And 25. It says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Now, Esau is a compound word. They'll tell you it means hairy. It does not mean hairy. The word for hairy is seer or sha'ir, which means hair. Esau is Ishashwa, which means wasted away is he. All right. And we've done many lessons on that. All right. So you can see even in the Blue Letter Bible, they have it. Because usually I would have to go to the Ben Yehudi English Hebrew dictionary to prove that to you. But even in here, they have what you call it, for lack of a better word, strong number that goes into the name Ishash. Okay, and Ishash means wasted, and the Y at the end makes it he. Ishashwa, wasted away is he. Now here is a shortened form, just Ishah, but it's Ishashwa. Okay. Now when we go down to it, to Esau, just to show you how much he's devil, how much of a devil the devil is, you'll have the word Ishah, and then it say here hairy. Don't mean hairy. Then it says, eldest son of Isaac and Rebekah and twin brother of Jacob, sold the birthright for food when he was hungry, and the divine blessing went to Jacob, progenitor of the Arab peoples. But I thought the Edomites were done away with. Oh no, they're the progenitors of the Arab people, because John Hyrcanus, he married, Cypros, the Nabatean. I'm not sorry, not Nabatean. The Arabian princess, and they they mingled in with them, and they became the Edomites. The Arabs became the Edomites. Get the fuck out of here, man. So they'll tell you that they're progenitors of the Arab people, but in the same breath, they'll tell you that the Edomites are done away with. So what is it? Are they the Arabs or are they done away with? Stop being like Nate, double-minded. Sending out all those mixed signals. But that's exactly what the devil does. His thing is all about confusion. It's not about truth. It's about confusion. Matter of fact, let me just type it like this. So you can see the demonic devilish plot of the devil. He'll tell you that the Edomites are Arab people, right? They're the progenitors or the father of the Arab people, right? But then when you look up the name Ishmael, right? You look up the name Ishmael. Shalaki, let me find it. Okay, it's almost to the end. Ishmael, which is the word Yashamai Allah, which means he has heard of the power. It'll give you, list of all the different, people in the Bible that were named Ishmael. But here it says, son of Abraham and Sarah's handmaid, Hagar, and the progenitor of the Arabian peoples. So what is it? Is Ishmael the progenitor, the father, the beginning father of the Arabian people, of the Arabs, or is it Esau? You can't have two progenitors. Two men cannot, father the same nation. You're either going to have one or the other. So either the Edomites are Ishmaelites or Arabs, or the Ishmaelites are Arabs. And we know that the Ishmaelites are Arabs. Even the Arabs know that they go back to Ishmael. Even though they know that they go back to Abraham. So that's what these devils do. All right, Isaiah 63:1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? So it's letting you know that when this prophecy takes place, the Edomites would be in rulership. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. So it's letting you know that the Edomites will be here. That's why it says Esau is the end of the world. But Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Shalaki for that. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Right. So this is a representation of the um the credit for taking this devil down is going to be given to Yahweh Shai. I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury, and the blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Right. And these Edomites, which America today would be known, today Basra was the capital of Edom. But today, Basra is the capital of America because this is a future prophecy. It's not talking about the land of Esau back then, the land of Seir or the mountains of Seir and the land of Edom, because that place down out there, you don't nobody really live there. You have people that visit and all that, but for the most part, America today is the modern day Basra. So you could understand. It says, "For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come." So the Lord is coming to bring vengeance upon Esau and redemption for the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. And to the next time I say, Shalom. That dude is a bug out. I just examined his channel. He says he's for world unity. Okay, well, it'd be for world unity. Scriptures don't speak about no world unity, you know. But you always got, a big mouth, expert. But then where's your platform at? Go teach your bugged out doctor somewhere else. We ain't biting. We ain't trying to hear that madness. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.